What's up, ducky?
Can you check this car and decide whether we're gonna keep it or scrap it?
Oh. So, where exactly did this car come from?
It's a secret.
Oh, okay. A trade-in then. Another trade-in. Someone's unloaded it for a reason, no doubt. Okay.
They bought a newer car.
Out you come.
Well, enjoy.
I will.
And I'll see you later.
I'll get back to you shortly.
Let me know.
Straight away, it's got a flat tyre. This 03 plate Ford Focus 1.6 and it's got GP on it. Does that mean Grand Prix? There's a bit of rust there by the Ford badge and on the tailgate under the chrome strip. Yeah, scuff on that trim. We shall see. I suppose it's going to be worth a little look around. Could be interesting. It don't look too bad actually on the surface of things for an 03 plate. Let's get it on the ramp and have a flipping look. Automatic gearbox. That's our cooling fan ahead in these hot summer days. Well, I suppose before I get out, we better have a look at. Oh, I'll tell you what. God, blimey, when I put the seat back, I can only just reach the pedals, so it's got a good bit of leg room for the driver. But the battery light is on. There's a cog with an exclamation mark in it. The engine management light's on, and also the dash there, where the mileage should be. There's it's all dashes. That says to me the instrument pack needs all the soldered connections redoing. We know the horn works, as Monica's just shown us. Radio code. There may be a code in it, that's not a big issue anyway. So, seatbelt buckle, case. It's not even bolted to the seat, for God's sake. Well, it's only connected by the wire. Holy crap. Maybe someone was thinking of changing it but never actually got round to it. At least the driver's one's connected. Well, the handbrake feels alright. Does the fan work? Oh yes. Does the aircon work? No, it's definitely warm air coming out of there. I should think it's probably low on gas anyway. But no, at first glance inside here, it looks tidy enough, apart from that instrument pack. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give like a kind of cost analysis of what this car's going to do, or what it's going to cost to actually put back into some kind of decent condition, and whether it's worth doing. I believe this car stands us in around about £300 at the minute, so that's the trouble. It's going to have the costs kept down, otherwise it's just not going to be worth it. Oh, central locking does work. Oh, well, that's something. Does the bonnet open? I bet it's this little key. Yes, it does. Wow. The only problem is, give me my bloody key back. Let's see what the engine oil looks like. Oh dear. There is absolutely nothing on the dipstick. Well, I've just put 2 litres of oil in the engine, and I believe these take about 4 litres in total. So let's see where we are now. Yeah, that's it. That's got it. So it's basically used half its engine oil. Whether it's got a bad leak underneath or not, I don't know. We'll find out shortly. If it hasn't, it's burning it. Anything else interesting under here? Coolant level. That's a little bit low, but not too bad. Power steering, I can see the level. Judging by the state of the fan belt, it looks a bit shiny, very old. So Lord only knows when the camshaft drive belt was last done. And obviously that's going to be quite an expensive job. Battery is questionable. I'll leave it overnight and see if it goes flat. But the rest of it kind of looks okay under here. Oh dear, that's pretty low in there. So that's an indication we could well have very low brake pads. Anyway, I guess we ought to have a little walk around. Oh, it is a Ghia as well. Got it on the kick plate there. So yeah, the seats are quite plush. There's no rips in them or nothing. Oh, I like that. It's got little armrests for the driver. It's handy. And this passenger one's got a tilt lever on it. I wonder why you would tilt the passenger front seat back. Oh well. Got a petrol cap. Wow, even the electric boot release works. Spare wheel. Jack and wheel brace, towing eye. Yeah. Lack of a wiper blade. I ain't seen no oil in a while. Sunroof. Do you know what? I'll check that sunroof. I'll make sure that works. Yeah. That about says it all, you know. Well, the driver's one's still intact, but it really needs wiper blades all round. Ooh! This one's a worker, and it's one touch. And it tilts. Oh dear. Well, all the windows work apart from the passenger rear. It's just making a load of noise. So it's I should think the actual wires on the regulator are probably broken and all chewed up. Now, I've just started the engine up. It sounds okay. I can hear the air conditioning compressor cutting in and out. However, I don't think the aircon is very cold. The pipe is a little bit cold, but yeah, I should think it's low on gas, if anything. But at least it's working. Oh, I never noticed them. Front fog lights. And they're not broken. We've got a leak from the power steering rack. And looking at that, I'd say it's coming out right at the back there. There's like where the pinion is, there's a kind of like a plug that screws in. So no doubt there's a seal in there. So depending how bad that's leaking, yeah, that could be a problem. Track rod end, anti-roll bar drop link, drive shaft boots. The discs look reasonably, well, they're not great, let's face it. I mean, they've got to be a certain thickness really, but nah, to be honest with you, I say that could probably do with new discs on it. Pads look all right, they're thick enough meat on them. Oh, that CV boot's gone there. There, just there. split, starting to leak. That'd probably fail an MOT. So yeah, no doubt there's a play in the joints, in the inner drive shaft joints. Brake pipe looks good though. But there again, let's take into consideration this is a 2003. It's now 20 years old. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. No leaks on the actual automatic transmission. Yeah, looking at this brake disc, it looks worse than the other side. I know these old flexible joints on the exhaust, flexible sections, they can get pretty loose. It feels okay. So no, so far it doesn't look too bad. Oh, you can see the brake pipe's been replaced there. It's been cut and a new union put in and a new pipe run down to the back. So it's had some work done to it at some point. Oh, there's a little bit of rust on that other brake pipe just there. I know these Focuses do suffer from a bit of rust and corrosion on the sills, especially these front wings. It's not great. This one's still held on. They normally, I know on the Mark II Focuses, they snap off and the wings get all flappy at the bottom. There's a little bit of rust there. Feels pretty solid still. The old trailing arm bush, it's still there. Bit of a rusty brake pipe. It may clean up. Spring, anti-roll bar drop link still intact. I'm not seeing nothing serious, if you know what I mean. Oh, you see this spring, this side's been replaced. That's been a new spring at some point. Look how rusty this side is. Yeah, and that back box has been replaced as well. Holy crap! Look at that. Look at that trailing arm bush on the passenger rear. It's completely come out of the arm. It is absolutely not even in the arm anymore. And the arm is like butted right up against the flipping chassis. I've shoved the lever bar between the arm and the chassis. So let's see. Yeah, look. Oh God, that must have been making a right old racket driving that down the road, I'm sure. So that's going to need a new trailing arm bush. Now, I believe I've done a few of these bushes, and really you need to take the whole arm completely off the car to do these. And the question is, some of these bolts that hold the actual arm onto the actual car can be really rusted up bad, and the bolts can seize in here and you have to end up cutting them off. So just changing that bush could be a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, there's another one up the top there on the suspension arm. Yeah, the bolts get really seized in these, and they're not fun getting out. They may well come out okay, but from my experience, most times they bloody well don't. There's a little bit of surface rust here and there, but like on the seal, but there's no holes. Because I've seen plenty of Focuses with flipping holes in the bloody, yeah. It's still hanging on. I wouldn't say that's great there, but it's not going through really. Yeah. Just give these front wheels a little check over, check out the suspension and everything. and if I find anything, I'll let you know. And I didn't have to look too far. See that bottom ball joint? There we go, it's knocking like hell. That's screwed, so we need a bottom ball joint on the driver's front. Okay, let's check the other side. Well, as far as the passenger front wheel goes, everything would appear to be okay. Ball joint's definitely alright. Brake hoses, brake pipes, drive shaft boots, even the tyres. The tyres on this car are really good. I'm quite amazed. Loads of tread. Yeah, apart from that, you see that wheel nut? When these wheel nuts have the little chrome cap come off them and fall off, the wheel nut turns into an 18mm, which means your spanner in the boot is never going to fit on that, it's going to slip. So that's going to need replacing. These two are okay. And I'll definitely get rid of the lockers, they're nothing but bloody trouble. Hello! You see, this is what I've got to put up with every day. Monica wants an extension lead, and Rhiannon wants I don't know what. Probably a rental looking at or something. Yeah, what you got on your arm there? Oh, nice. So you both got tattoos. You turn round. See? You know, you're making me want to get a tattoo. Anyway, you twos are a major distraction. I have to get this video done.
Oh,
see you later. Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Well, I have to say, looking at the wheels and tyres, all 4 tyres on this car have got loads of tread and they look good. So I can't complain there. That's a shitty spring, it's a bit rusty. It's not broken or nothing, but I guess it's only a matter of time. Yeah. Not bad at all. So that's the back end done. I have actually felt the wheel bearings and all that, and there's no noise on the wheel bearings and there's no play in them or nothing like that. So everything looks pretty good at the back. That's my little examination of this car over. I obviously can't test the emissions up here, but I'm assuming they're going to pass. If they don't pass, it'll probably need a new catalytic converter. Well, the final thing, it's a squeaky window. The final thing, we're going to go for a little run up to the roundabout and back, just before we make the decision, because I want to know if the actual automatic gearbox is changing all the gears. And as things stand at the minute, with the cog light on, the engine management light on and the battery light on, I'm a bit concerned whether I'm going to get back in one piece. So I'd better not hang around. Oh my god, I'll tell you something, there's no speedometer, there's no rev meter. Can you see that down there? None of the dials are working apart from the fuel gauge. And that's probably questionable whether that's working. The kickdown works. I will say though, it's quite a comfortable drive. I mean, this is a Ghia, so it's got like the more plush seats, a bit more padding in them. You get a bit more velour. But there's no, well, apart from the ball joint, there is no knocks and rattles and that. It's actually quite a nice drive. Windscreen washers work. Floor in it. Go, 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 go! Oh dear, there's no smoke out the back. So I can't really tell by the rev meter whether the rev meter's dropping as it's going into the next gear. But judging by the tone of the engine, it is changing gears okay and running okay, not revving too high. some of these gearboxes will rev the hell out of them when they lose gears, but that seems fine. So I guess we're going to have to give the final conclusion what we're going to do. I'm just going to do a little bit of calculations, add a few figures together, and we'll decide whether we're going to scrap it or keep it. Well, it's the next morning. This is the day I'm going to add up all the figures and find out whether it's worth keeping this car or not. But I've just noticed underneath here there's a little puddle of oil on the floor, so I'm going to see what that is, but I'm beginning to think that is our power steering fluid. Oh my god, that's definitely power steering oil. Oh dear. Okay, crunch time. I've wrote my little list of problems with this car, and basically what the parts are going to cost and what the labour would cost as well. So you're ready for it. Instrument cluster, that would have to be done because you can't exactly drive around without a speedometer working. You're probably looking around about £180 to have that instrument cluster sent off to ECU tested and have them repair it. Sure, you can look up on YouTube and you can do the repair yourself, but that's if you've got time or the know-how or the means to do it. I'm just trying to put the prices as if you can't do anything and you have to pay for the parts and have to pay for the labour. So about 180 for the instrument cluster. Wiper blades, roughly £8 all round. Passenger rear trailing arm bush, probably around about £20 to £30 for a new bush. I would generally get one from Ford because they're better quality and they fit in the arms a lot better than the aftermarket ones. Steering rack, I was kind of hoping, and by the way the steering rack is what's really swung it here. I was hoping the steering rack wasn't leaking that bad, but after seeing the puddle of oil on the floor this morning, it's like, yeah, that's quite a bad leak. So it's going to run out of bloody power steering fluid. So if this car was sold, someone's going to come back and complain if they got warranty on this. And if this was sold, it'd probably have 3 months warranty on it, and that's what the problem is. So I'm saying allowed up to £200 for a recon steering rack. Drive shaft boot, £15 for the boot kit. Bottom ball joint, I would change the arm as well with it. It's a lot easier than trying to drill them rivets out. So we'll be looking around about £55 for a new suspension arm. Seat belt stalk around about £40. I'll probably go for a second hand one of that, might even get it cheaper. And the passenger rear window regulator around about £60. So that gives me a grand total of £588 in parts alone to get this car pretty much tip top. If I was to add labour to that, without going down the whole list, £80 an hour here, you'd be looking around about £640 in labour to put this car right, all them items. That's assuming the back suspension arm, trailing arm bush came apart without too much trouble, or else there'd be a bit more labour on that. So about £1,200 including labour. But even if I went down the route of saying, no, let's just go for the parts and we won't worry about the labour, it's still £588. The car owes us £300. So it's getting on for a grand. And what can you sell it for? Realistically, what the hell could you sell this car for? Even if you've got £1,500 for this car, you're still going to have to put a bit of warranty on it. And then you run the risk of the car coming back with a new owner saying, this isn't right and that isn't right. So, my conclusion is, it's not viable to put it right. It just simply isn't. However, if this was somebody's own personal car, it's still got MOT on it until next April, which is a good thing. So you could actually run this car for the next 4 or 5 months, just get the arm fixed, the suspension arm at the back, and get the ball joint done. And, well, you'd probably have to get the clocks done. If you invested sort of like £300 or £400 into this car, you'd have a cheap little motor to run around in. So we're going to scrap it. That's what's going to happen. But I'll probably leave it here for a little while. and maybe we can use it as a runaround car, and we might put a few things right, but as it stands at the minute, it's going to be scrapped. Let me just show you on the computer what we're going to get for it. I have looked at various scrappage sites, and to be honest with you, Redcorn seems to be giving the highest amount of money. If I put the registration number and postcode in, get a valuation, they are offering £250, but there's one other thing I come across which is kind of interesting. If I go to, yeah, We Buy Any Car, look at the valuation they give. The only problem here is, if you've been down this route before, they give you a really high valuation, but they want to see your car. So you'll take your car to them and they will go around it and they will pick fault with every little thing they can possibly find. And I can tell you, for that Ford Focus, that £835 will probably end up being more like around about £100 if you're lucky.
So, is it yay or nay?
Money, it's a scrapper.
Okay. Wrong answer. Rhiannon?
If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.